Good morning, UPBOptionMillionaires.com, and the market is basically flat this morning to open the session. We're about 15 minutes into the market sessions, Wednesday, August 20, 2014. You can see the lows we hit back on Thursday into Friday, August 8, 2014. Beautiful move off the bottom, and I've been bringing this up repeatedly in all my videos, so I won't do it this time around. Nonetheless, here we sit just a stone's throw away from record levels. We have Hewlett-Packard with earnings tonight after the bell, and I saw an analyst remark come out. 4 of the last August earnings reports for Hewlett-Packard has sent the stock lower. You can see the move up it's had really over the last 2 years. Everybody was throwing in the towel on Hewlett-Packard here back in November. Really marked the Abenomics low. So I guess over in Japan, they looked at Hewlett-Packard as a signal that they need to stimulate the economy. Nonetheless, you can pull up a trend line from here, and it's just been a slow, methodical rise for Hewlett-Packard. So I'm not expecting a giant move, Hewlett-Packard, in either direction. But if I were trading for it, I'd say, hey, you know what? Let's break that. History doesn't always repeat itself. 4 times of downside in August. Hey, why not get a little call contract? So we'll see. I'm maybe looking at the $36 calls heading into earnings. I'm looking for puts on Williams-Sonoma. We could be hit a double top here and at least a pull back down at a $70 level. The September $70 puts are something like 90 cents. So I'm looking to get into those. That's after the bell today. Tomorrow before the bell, we have Sears Holdings. And Sears Holdings has been stuck in this channel. I brought this up at a post on the blog at OptionMillionaires.com and also in a couple of my videos. The fact this long-term resistance line, once it breaks, we keep bumping along it. Once it breaks to the upside, it's going to go $60, $70. And that really is not going to even get us back up to the middle of 2010 highs. That's what I see happening because U.S. Steel, similar chart. You can see if you pull in a little closer. Once we broke that long-term trend line, it's been on like Donkey Kong, and the stock hit new recent highs yesterday before pulling back, and I'm looking for the stock to head over 40, 50. Could even get up to $60 before year's end. I talked about it earlier this year as a great trade in 2014. On a break of this trend line, same with Sears Holdings. Break of the trend line will send the stock considerably higher, and it's got earnings before the bell tomorrow. Of course, nothing's certain. Could droop down to the support line here to about 28 before heading up. That's the risk you take. If it was a risk-free trade, everybody would be doing it. Before the bell tomorrow, we have Dollar Tree as well. DLTR and these stocks have been kind of ripping to the upside as buyout offers been swung around. So I'm not sure the earnings report's going to affect it as much because who really cares about earnings these days? It's all about how much stock the company is buying back and how big their dividend is going to be increased by. Let's move to stocks to report after the bell tomorrow. We have a couple of them. GME used to be a really heavily shorted stock. You see it's come back to support here at just under the $40 level, bounced. One of the earnings reports we've seen a sharp decline and then a recovery. So it's a very volatile stock. One, I might be waiting until the earnings report comes out, and that would be Friday morning when the market opens to trade this one. But if you are, just be wary of the high short interest and the fact that in spite of weak earnings, it could still spike to the upside. Gap Store was downgraded recently, right at support. And if you look, just pull out the support line, just looks very bullish to me, this chart. You can actually say it's a nice wedge, a nice pennant formation. It's just flapping in the breeze and looks like it's going to head higher. But we'll see earnings report after the bell. On Thursday, we have Intuit, which has really been soaring the stock. Beautiful trend. Over the last month, it's seen a really sharp rise, and it's just a continuous upswing since the lows in 2009. I don't expect the earnings report to change that. And finally, we have CRM, Salesforce.com. This chart, we channeled here for, 2 years, broke out, tried to break out to record highs, and we did, pulled back, and I'm looking for that move back over 60 to record levels. The options aren't pricing in more than a 7% move. I think the stock can move about 10, and I got the 56.50 calls for, I don't know what I got them at, 90 cents, something like that. So I'm looking for a nice move and get a nice double or triple on those option contracts. UPB here. Let's bring up the 2-year chart for the S&P 500 ETF. And I just took, again, talking about how now we're getting into overbought territory, but we're still far away from what we've seen historically off the lows. We move off the lows, as I said we would back in the middle of September and August of last year and the start of this year. And we had the tech wreck in April. Each of the moves off this trend line has brought us to significantly higher prices, and I think that's where we're headed. We're going to maybe digest these levels for a little bit before we spring to new highs for the S&P 500. UPB here, OptionMillionaires.com. So it's a quick earnings video. And before the bell on Friday, we have Foot Locker. So if you're interested in Foot Locker, it's a stock that's been consolidating in this channel. Let me just pull back a little bit and see if we can get that a little cleaner. Oh, I must have drawn this line when I was slightly intoxicated. But nonetheless, look at that. See, I extended. See how the trend line with respect. So we're at the top end of the trend line here for Foot Locker. So this might be the next shoe to drop. Oh, gosh, oh, man, that wasn't even funny. All right, I'll see you in the chat room at OptionMillionaires.com. Hope everyone has a great trading session. So I really like CRM and Sears holding calls into earnings, and my earnings calls really the last couple weeks have been pretty not spot on. Yeah, I am not the perfect trader. I do make wrong trades quite frequently, as much as I hate to admit it. All right, UPB, I'll see you in the chat room. Everyone have a great trading day. Goodbye.